Deedle, deedle, Blackcoat's daughter, what was in that holy water? Gone to bed on an unclear head, the angels forgot her. The Blackcoat's Daughter is written and directed by Oz Perkins. He also goes by Osgood Perkins. If that name sounds familiar, but you can't quite place it, remember the Gretel and Hansel movie that came out a couple years ago? He did that. It was atmospheric, and that was really about it. You can check out my review on the Real Honest Movie Reviews playlist if you really want to hear what I have to say. But let me know what you had to say about that movie in the comments, please. This was a few years before that movie came out. This comes to us courtesy of A24 and DirecTV. And apparently DirecTV decided, hey, we're not getting a whole bunch of positive buzz even a few years ago. Let's associate with this up-and-coming, indie-rific, and very, very talented set of people at A24, and let's get some positive buzz. Any positive buzz would help us. I love A24 movies. I praised them in the past. Really, the only movie of theirs that I've seen that I haven't really cared that much for was The Monster. Sweet Christ, I did not like that. Recently retro-reviewed that if you want to check that out. This did come out just a few years ago in 2017. Hard to believe. It was 5 fucking years ago. But nevertheless, this has Emma Roberts, Kiernan Shipka. I hope I pronounced that right. She was a young woman that was in the Netflix Sabrina series. And as Lucia Boynton. James Remmer, not Reamer, as I wanted to say. It really was difficult for me not to say Reamer. This is the word of the Reamer. And nobody that is not already a wrestling fan will get that. It also has Lauren Hawley. So this is going to be an uphill struggle because I've never really cared for Lauren Hawley in anything besides NCIS, and her character met a fitting end. I don't know why I don't like Lauren Hawley, but nevertheless. So this takes place at a private school where everybody goes on winter break except a couple particular girls are waiting for their parents to pick them up. And there's Mr. Gordon, the headmaster. Headmaster, of course, is a term that I react to with the good taste and maturity that you have all come to expect from me. And if you expect good taste and maturity, you're new to this channel, and if so, hi. So anyway, there's a few sisters there, so to speak, because it is a Catholic private school somewhere in New York. Somewhere in upper New York. And basically, since it's on winter break and northeast winters are really goddamn brutal, there's Kat, or Catherine, played by Miss Shipka, who is a bit of an odd duck. And odd duck would be, putting it mildly, she is just strange. She doesn't really have a good relationship with her parents. She said that her parents would be there. Maybe they won't be there. They kind of shelter her. And she has a bit of affection for Rose, played by Lucy, who, if you actually take a look at the ages, even though they're supposed to be about the same age, there's actually about a 5-year age difference, so it was a little bit gross. But nevertheless, this is Hollywood. It is what it is. And all the while, we get, 3 different stories. We get the story from Rose, we get the story from Catherine, and we get the story from Joan. Joan, in quotations, Emma Roberts. And Joan's character comes in later in the movie, and she's gotten off the bus. She's got her own backstory and gets a ride from a couple, Bill and Linda, James and Lauren Hawley. So basically, from there, we either go to Joan's story or we stick in the school. And a lot of weird, creepy shit starts to go down, and could it possibly be the Blackcoat's daughter? Who is the Blackcoat's daughter? We find out eventually, maybe, kinda, sorta. I'm not gonna lie to you, I think that this movie was a little bit too ambitious, and then suddenly realized, shit, we need to suddenly, just ramp it up in the third act, and then, we need to end it. What? We're just gonna end it suddenly like that. Maybe I just missed something. Maybe this movie didn't quite grab me as much as I thought. It was good. It was quite good, actually, for a while, and then really petered out, and the wheels came off, and it seemed like it just stumbled to the end. It didn't quite pull turning, and, well, wait for it, the turning, where it just literally ended, and you're like, I think they ran out of funding and just said, fuck it, end it. That's good enough. This doesn't make any sense. Okay, fine, we'll churn it out. And that's pretty much where we have this movie. It's atmospheric, it's well shot, it's decently acted, even though it seems like every single cast member is on massive amounts of Quaaludes, bombed out to the point that they were practically comatose, but that was the whole idea. It's supposed to be washed out and eerie and dreary and weary and wise. So anyway, Rose, it turns out, there's going to be spoilers, by the way, throughout the rest of this review. So if this part interests you so far, then go fucking watch it. It's on Showtime. It's in the A24 section. So that's your warning right there, because I am going to get into spoilers right here. 3, 2, 1, spoilers. Rose is pregnant, apparently, by her boyfriend, or a guy that she met. And Catherine also has a bit of affection for her. A lot of affection for her. There's also this thing about people worshiping the devil, and they were caught in the basement around the furnace doing worshiping of the devil. Who was worshiping the devil? Could it possibly be the one girl that's acting all creepy and all weird and all flirty with a girl that is at her school and everything? Ooh, and she keeps saying that her parents are dead. Maybe it's somehow that she knows about this and everything's going nuts. Am I beating the sarcasm drum a little bit too hard? Sorry, had to, get to my point right there. But this movie tries to have a layered story, but also gets a little bit jumbled and a little bit weird. You're not exactly sure if it's taking place over 2 time periods, because we go right to Joan's story, where she is, given a ride by Bill and Linda. And Bill says she reminds him of his daughter, and reminds him of her, whatever. He had a kid, and Emma Roberts is like, you look like her, so I'll take you in. I'll give you a ride, and I'll give you a hotel room, and we'll just do this. And it seemed like large chunks of this movie was just cut out. Basically, he says, oh, you look like her. He confesses this. But Joan also isn't who she claims to be. She has a fake license in there. She also cut off some kind of wrist tape like she was part of an institution. She gets weird little flashbacks. And then we cut back to Rose not handling things very well, because she seems to be the only normal one, but she's also pregnant. The sisters make her shovel the snow because Catherine starts acting really goddamn weird. Really, really goddamn weird. Like she is throwing up at a dinner. And she's acting all strange, like she's possessed, repossessed. The devil, he's coming back. Nobody gets that repossessed reference. If you do, please let me know. And Rose even said at one point, before finding out she was pregnant, it really hurts when I swallow. Okay, never mind about the jokes there. There seems to be something weird going on, like some ghostly whisperings, like there's something very strange happening at the school, like a weird ghostly presence, something that could possibly be very devilish, obviously. Why else would there be something called the Blackcoat's daughter unless it was very devilish? And then what I think the story was, and this is just my interpretation of it, because you have Joan's story where she's talking to, Rose's parents, and it turns out that Rose is dead. Or is Rose dead? Is this taking place during another time period? Could it be possible that Joan is not actually Joan and that she is Kat a little bit older? Because what ends up happening, this is just my interpretation of the story. Maybe I just got really confused by something simple, but the story jumped around so goddamn much, it was a little bit odd. What ends up happening is Catherine goes on a murdering spree. It's a murdering spree. She ends up just killing everybody, including Rose, cutting off her hair, and hails Satan, and she gets shot. Well, Joan ends up also killing Rose's parents just to get back to the school, and then it turns out that she's in this basement, she's looking around all this stuff, and she's all upset. Why is she all upset? Well, Catherine ended up getting an exorcism done on her by this one pastor, and she tells the weird goat-headed creature thing, don't go. This goat-headed creature thing that somehow has to do with the movie, and ends up essentially just, leaving. And then suddenly we smash cut to Joan, in quotations, and we never find out her actual name. And she's crying and everything and all upset because the life she knew is gone. And she killed Rose's parents, like she killed Rose before in the past. Could it be possible that this is an older cat? Meow! No, it's possible. It's also entirely possible that this story was just all, human centipede together from a bunch of random parts. And the Blackcoat's daughter just was a neat little jingle that was at the beginning and at the end credits. So yeah, I guess the movie invites you to interpret it in your own way. That's what I got out of it. It's also entirely possible that Catherine was just insane, Joan had nothing to do with it, and there you go. The movie just suddenly sort of ends, though, where I'm like, okay, it wasn't bad. I would give it a B. It just tumbled down from an A, unfortunately, because the violence was kind of cool. It was kind of nice to see somebody just go absolutely batshit insane being at a private school, but overall it was a little bit uneven. That being said, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm Charm Ritlin. I'll see you soon.